So the first thing you're gonna want to do is find some pads, especially because that melody is straight up pads. Now this pad I got it from Expand, and it's called the Simple Sign, and I layered it with a pad layer, another one from Expand, and it's called Spooky. Now this is how the first pad sound, and this is how the second one sound. Now together they make a very special ambient pad, and that's why layering pads and layering instruments is very important. Now together they sound like this. And the effects that I have on the first one is a Valhalla vintage verb, as well as a wider, so that it sounds more stereo and more ambient. Because for this melody, especially the drums too, it's very wide and open, right? But we'll get to that later. Now for the next pad, I have Valhalla vintage verb because reverb makes a room. Now, next instrument that I added was a keys, right? Although the beat itself is straight up pads, I wanted it to be different. Now, this keys I added is from Labs, and it's a soft piano. This is how it sounds. And the effects that I have on here is only of Olive and Verb. This beat is very simple. That's why I wanted to spice it up and make it unique by adding in different elements that was not inside of the beat. Otherwise, it'll just be pads and drums. All right. Now, next, I'm gonna go over the chord progression, which is very simple. As y'all can see, it's basically all triads, just triads. And then that's when, let's get to the second half. It looks crazy, but trust me, it's not. I add these top notes. Just to spice things up a little bit. And you can do this just by playing it by ear. And it's nothing special, no music theory needed for the top notes. Now for these right here, the embellishments, you can do them very easily. All you gotta do is strum your first chord, which already is, but if you don't know how to strum, you press Alt S and this little window is gonna pop up, and then that's where you mess with the strength, right? And then you click accept. But then after that, you press Shift, drag it over, then you pitch it up. Then you just mess around until you get something like this, right? And after you get something like that, I just double it down by doing it 2 more times, right? So then I pitched it up, moved it over a little bit, and then I selected it again and pitched it up and moved it over a little bit more. That's practically all for the melody, for the whole chord progression. And now let's move on to the bass. For the bass, it's basically just a respace. And there's nothing added to it, and that's all. I then went back and I layered the piano with a grand piano because the soft piano was a little bit dull, right? It sounded too dark, especially for the beat entirely. So, although the beat is dark, I wanted to complexify it a little bit, and there we go. Just to add some high end. Now, here comes the good part. I went back and I listened to Lust for Life inside of his old album, and I got this idea right here. And I did this by ear, nothing crazy at all. But what is crazy is the effects that I have on here. Now, without any effects, it sounds like this. Nothing at all. So then, that's when I added a flangus, another flangus to double down, a UAD Galaxy Tape Echo, which is what's doing the whole triplet effect, right? Let me turn it off. right, with it, right, it makes a reverby room type thing, and it doubles everything because it is a delay at the same time. Now I added some RC20 retro to wine flutter so that the thing don't sound perfect. I did a vol delay and another reverb, which is the lexicon reverb, to just drown it out a tiny bit, but not too much. And altogether, the melody, I did add some accents beforehand before I finished as well. These things right here. Well, it's just one, and it's this one that I reverse so that I can hit on the one. Right now, I have them following along with the lead as well, just to add some accent to it. And that's how you'll be able to make your melodies unique. And I also added some vinyl, which is nothing crazy. And I'm gonna play the melody first before I get into the drums. But although I did add all those instruments to make it unique, that's not what this melody is about. This melody is about just pads. So I'm gonna take off the pianos and let's just go with the bass, the pad, and the lead because I wanted to make it sound different. It would be boring with just pads, right? So with this, I just have the pad and the lead, and this is how it will sound. Next, let's get into the drums. So when it comes to the drums, the hi-hat and the clap has to be open. And what I mean by that is, let me show you guys an example. A closed clap will be something like this. There's no high end for real, if you get what I'm saying, right? It's all in the middle. An open one, you guys can hear the high end. And that's an example of what I'm using right now, which is in my new kit. It's a lot more open. Now for the hi-hat, it's not closed. And what I mean by closed for hi-hats, it's not something like this. It has high end. That's what makes the beat feel so spacious, because there's no low end in the drums for real, aside from the 808 and the kick. Now for the kick, a regular rack kick would work. And for the 808, you want the 808 to not have barely any high end, correct? So I'm using an EQ'd out 808 just so that it can fit well with the kick and the melody, so that the melody can stay dark and spacious. Now, with the drums, it sounds like this. Right? And I added a open hat as well, just to make things spicy. Now for the mixing, all you guys need to do is level. For this beat, it's nothing special at all. That's why I wanted it to make it unique by adding these little leads, pianos and stuff. But this beat is nothing special. Drake just carries with his vocals, and that's what makes the song so fire. Just having space for the artists to flow and do whatever they want. But thank you guys for watching. I love and I appreciate y'all. I'll play the beat out, and deuces. I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Ooh, I'll see you guys Monday. I'm gonna start posting Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Right, 3 times a week now instead of 2 times. So we'll see how that goes. Let me know if you guys think otherwise, and yeah, let me know what type of videos you guys want to see. And I love and I appreciate y'all, like I said before, and deuces.